This is Aftercast. You've got episode 24. Hello, this is Brandy Venzel, and I am pleased to welcome you to Aftercast, the audio companion to the Afterthoughts blog. For many years now, Afterthoughts has been a sort of intellectual watering hole for all of you classical Charlotte Mason homeschooling mamas out there. I like to call you Afterthinkers. You are thinking people, idea people, who never let a good book go to waste. You keep yourselves intellectually agile by reading books, often old books, and seeking out the best that has been thought and said and mixing it into your everyday lives of laundry and dishes and dinner and long division. Season 3 of Aftercast is sponsored by Charlotte Mason Boot Camp. Want to whip your Charlotte Mason muscles into shape? If so, my intense 6-week Charlotte Mason Boot Camp might be just the ticket. It'll take that philosophical flab and turn it into nothing less than confidence. I offer 3 sessions of Charlotte Mason Boot Camp per year, spring, summer, and fall. In 2019, I'm doing something extra special. I'm offering 2-week intensives, deep dives into some part of Charlotte Mason's philosophy, and it's available only to Charlotte Mason Boot Camp alumni. You know you want in, so to get on the Charlotte Mason Boot Camp interest list, go to afterthoughtsblog.net/cmbootcamp and sign up. Today, we take a look at Charlotte Mason's personal habits. She was quite a well-read lady, and it turns out this didn't happen by accident. Let's take a look at what Miss Mason did and think about how we can make better choices with our time. The Self-Education of Miss Charlotte Mason. Today, we are looking at what is known about how Charlotte Mason continued her own education while she was working at Scale Howe. She was busy, just like us. She had correspondence to deal with, curriculum to plan, students to teach, schools to manage, magazines to edit, speaking engagements for which to prepare, and on and on. She had a lot on her plate. And in the midst of that, she managed to live a whole life and proceed with her personal study. I am not so interested in how she was educated as a child or a young woman, but in how she managed to continue her education as an extremely busy working woman. In the story of Charlotte Mason, Essex Chumley takes great pains to describe Miss Mason's personal course of study. For example, she had a morning preparation time, and Chumley reports that the result was, quote, a radiance that only gospel books could bring. From such a description, I think it is safe to conclude this prep time was devotional in nature. If she was too tired after her morning endeavors, she relaxed with either Punch or a Trollope novel for 20 minutes. This happened around 11 o'clock a.m. At 12:15, she stopped work. Then would follow 10 minutes of some classic author. After dinner, or what we here in California call lunch, she read aloud a book of travel or biography. 2:15 commenced a drive out in nature. When she was younger, she used this time for walking. Despite her poor health, she did not give it up, but resorted to driving instead. She returned at 4 o'clock p.m. for tea. It was said that she always found some new thing on these drives. She noticed the newest flowers to bloom, all the evidences of the changing of the seasons. She perfected her intimate knowledge of nature lore. From 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m., she read some old favorite novel, Charlotte Bronte, George Eliot, Thackeray, Meredith, Jane Austen. After supper, or if you're like me, you call this dinner, She spent time reading aloud the Times and books of travel, literary essays, memoirs. Since supper began at 7 p.m., and we know this activity ended by 8:45 p.m., we can guess this read-aloud time lasted an hour, perhaps only 45 minutes. At 8:45 p.m., she ended her day with her evening reading and a Scott novel. I always wondered if the rumors about her rereading Scott novels were true. Chumley says that they are. Quote, "She always had some Scott the last thing, and as one novel was finished, another took its place and had done for 30 years. Now, an important thing to note is that she did not use any of this personal study time for the books we see her reviewing in the Parents' Review. The reading and reviewing of those books fell into her working hours, not her study hours. She had a luxury many homeschool moms do not have, which is getting paid to do things that were, by their nature, an enhancement to her own education. Cindy Rollins has always quoted that poem about little drops of water and little grains of sand making the ocean and the land. She uses it as a metaphor for our children's education. That we do not conquer all in a day, but that the little bits throughout the day and every day really can add up to a magnificent education. In reading this summary of Miss Mason's normal habits for her average days, I see the same encouragement. 10 minutes with a classic author? It doesn't sound like much, does it? But if this 10 minutes were given 6 days per week, that is an hour. And if it is done all year, that is 52 hours. And if that is done for 30 years, well, you get the picture. She was working in the little drops of water mode, it seems. Many people watch a lot of TV streaming and movies. I wonder what our culture would be like if we replaced that with quality literature. Most of you probably do not watch that much television, but statistically, more time is spent at a screen, Facebook and Instagram maybe, than Miss Mason was spending in her reading. So it's hard to think that we do not also have that sort of time were we to manage our time well and make reading a priority. As I said before, we are going to spend the coming weeks looking at a variety of examples. Miss Mason is only our first, but these details are interesting, are they not? I think if we were to take away one thing from her example, it'd be that habitual reading can take us quite far. Miss Mason was a well-read person not because she read for 3 hours on a weekend, but because snippets of reading time were peppered strategically throughout her day, every day. I don't know about you, but I wonder how many great classics I could get through just by committing to 10 minutes per day. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining me here at Aftercast. If you want to find the posts associated with these episodes, just go to afterthoughtsblog.net/podcast. That's afterthoughtsblog.net/podcast. There you'll easily find links for each episode. Now is the time for me to ask you to head on over to your podcast player and give Aftercast a rating and review. While you're at it, you might as well make it 5 stars, don't you think? Leaving ratings and reviews is a way to let others know about the show, so I'd really appreciate it. And finally, don't forget in the midst of your busy days that mothers are people too. Just like your children need sunshine and good food and sleep and, yes, good books to read, so do you. So go, read a book, think a thought, and then come back and join me for the next episode.